Hi guys, Cargrass here, and today I'm bringing you more of a creative video. I know I missed a video last week, and I'm sorry for that. Um, but I was kind of in a creative rut, didn't really have any idea what I wanted to do for the channel, so instead of trying to put up something kind of half-assed or not really well done, I decided to just not. Um, so I took a little bit of a break, and now I'm back. Uh, and today I wanted to maybe open the door or help people find out about some game creation engines that allow you to make games without very much coding knowledge. Um, I know there's a lot more that you could, you know, get into. There's a lot of engines that you could get into if you had any sort of coding know-how or background in, or were willing to learn. Uh, but I wanted to show that there's a few options out there for different types of games that maybe would interest you and might help you along in your kind of creative endeavors. The first two that I want to talk about are free, and one of them has a paid variant, which is supposed to be better. But let's get into it. Um, so, number one, the first one I'm going to have up on screen here for you is called Quest. Now, it looks very plain. You can see I have a few programs here, or a few games I've already made, at least worked on anyway, over here. I can create a new one, open existing, get tutorial, or get help in the forums. And I know that there is an update, but updates tend to break the existing games you have, so I haven't updated just yet. But what this is a text adventure creator. Now, I know a lot of you are gonna immediately start to roll your eyes and are wanting more of like a visual game. And if you want that, I have more lined up. Don't worry about that. But for those of you that really want to create a story and maybe just have some choices for people to pick from as the story goes on, this might be a good way to start off, or at least toy around with a bit. There are two main kind of game creation modes. So if I hit create game here, there's the text adventure, where it'll show kind of text in this format where, you know, the dialogue, objects or rooms or other things that you can interact with will have a blue highlight letting you um, decide which objects you can interact with or want to inspect or go to. Um, and that's really good if you want like more of a traditional text adventure, you know, have some sort of lock and key system, or you're trying to get out of somewhere, or it's. I've seen a few pretty well done horror games that kind of, in just visceral detail, give you, uh, you know, what's going on as you read the story, which is pretty awesome. Then there's also the game book version, which is more of like the choose your own adventure type of things. You know, like back when Goosebumps had the choose your own adventure books, where you'd go to, say, you start off on page one, and then it says, okay, if you choose this option, go to page 23. If you choose this option, go to page 46, and you'd go to those pages and read what happened there, and then it'll usually either give you more options or say that you've got to one of the ends of the book. And that can be a lot of fun in and of its own right. So, yeah, but both are strictly text based. You can put in like tiny images if you're wanting, like, to say have like a fire extinguisher and you're wanting to inspect the fire extinguisher, and you can have like a small picture of what a fire extinguisher looks like show up that you've put into it. and I think they max out at like 500 by 500 pixels or something like that. So it's not the best. So you can have some pictures, but you can't have moving pictures in the background. And the other good thing about the Quest kind of program is that it has its own website where you get it from, and that website also lets you post your games online to let people play it. So you get finished here, you publish it, you make a published file, you can send it up to the Quest website, where if you're going there, you're probably looking to play some text adventures. So there's already an audience at the ready waiting to see your game when you get it done and posted. And I found that pretty awesome. So yeah, for first up in the lineup, it's free. It's just a text adventure creator, but it's fun to work with, and there's an audience for it. So on to the next one in our lineup. The second engine is one I've actually talked about quite a bit on the channel, and as I bring it up here, you'll probably recognize it immediately. This is Construct Classic. There is Construct Classic, there's Construct 2, and then there's Construct 3. Construct 2 you can't get anymore, unfortunately, because they took that down from the store. Construct 3 is the new version of it, which is supposed to be a lot better, and I have dabbled a little bit with it, and it's a little more streamlined, so I will give them that. I don't know if it's worth the $99 a year subscription fee, but to each their own. I'm not really a fan of subscription fees, but anyway, this is Construct Classic. It makes you could make text adventures if you wanted to. You could make uh, like a visual novel type game, any sort of 2D game that you could think of right away. You can make in this engine, and it's all. I do have two videos on. I even have one where I show how the coding works and how you could make like a very basic adventure game with it, and I even show off the one I've created with it. Um, it's the problem with Classic is that it is an older engine and it's no longer being updated. Uh, and I have unfortunately heard from a few viewers that it just doesn't work with their system. So there's kind of the problem in that regard. It can only create exe files, as far as I'm aware. So it can create exe files, which means it works for Windows, and you could, in theory, send it off. And I believe this falls under like the general game license, or there's some sort of license that you could make money off of it if you wanted to. The only problem that I have run into is when I send the game off, send off the exes for people to try out. Windows immediately assumes it's a virus and wants to get rid of it, and some of them have the like automated virus scanners or whatnot will immediately just delete the file because they assume it's unsafe. And it doesn't matter what I do to to try and fix that. I thought maybe if I tried to like put like an author name and stuff in there that would fix it, and doesn't do anything. It's just such an old program that Windows just immediately assumes it's a virus of some sort. So that's another downside to it, unfortunately. With Construct 3, though, I'm assuming that I'm assuming it can still make exes if you have the right exporter for it. I know it can make like index files, kind of like the ones like HTML files is what I should say. It can make HTML files because that's what Construct 2 could create. And I'm assuming there's a few others because Construct 2 had stuff like pre-set up for different online stores. You could just make a file and put it into whatever the store is. So yeah, this would be one to check out. If it doesn't work for you, I'm sorry. I'm not really a technical guy, so I don't really know if there's a way to make it work if it doesn't just install and work for you. I will leave a link to it down in the description so you can go to a safe, secure website to get it. Actually, I'll probably do that to all of the programs that I showed today, but if you're curious about it, I'll leave a link to it down in the description. Okay, onto the first. You have to pay for a program. It's kind of a niche audience that this would be for. Here we go. Bring it up. TyranoBuilder, visual novel studio. This is another. It's a text adventure with pictures. Is essentially the best way I can put it. And I know some people are immediately not going to be very interested because they want, to make a visual game. And this, I mean, not this kind of visual, but something like maybe Pokemon or Mario where you can actually move around and do stuff in the overworld or whatever. But this is not it. This isn't that. This is for making stories with moving pictures and some visual elements, obviously. But this is the best. I'm really having a hard time describing what a visual novel is to those who don't already know what it is. I would honestly maybe look it up if you're still confused what a visual novel is. But yeah, it's pretty good. And the reason I bring this up over the I forget. There's another free one. There's one that's actually free called Ren LP or PL or something like that. That is online, but that when you strictly have to know coding, you like, typing out lines of code to get it to do what you want. This one has very simple, like, drop down kind of menus and menus for already pre-established, like, program, like having a character appear on screen, making them shake if something would happen, changing the background, changing what music is playing, changing the size of the text box, how much text is on screen. Just all very simple, nicely done up programming. And I know some of you would probably like me to go into each and every single one of these in like a new project and show you how it's done, but that would just take way too long. And but if there's any of these that already interest you a lot, any of these programs it is, and I haven't already made a few videos on it, like Construct Classic, then let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see about showing you the ropes of how the program works, because that'd be pretty interesting to show off. But I want to know from you guys if that would interest you. All right, so that is the oh, I guess I should end on saying that TyranoBuilder, you can make a product that you could sell. And before, like, many months ago, I was having sort of the same issue with this that I did with Construct Classic, and that, if I send over a game for friends to try out, Windows is not very happy about it. And I don't know if there's a way to change that. I don't know if there has to be some sort of like process you have to go through to let Windows know that, hey, you're actually a legitimate game instead of the virus. So sorry about that. I might look into that more if and when you guys ask about seeing more about this. So onto the third engine. One last thing. TyranoBuilder is $15 on the Steam store. Now onto the fourth one. One moment. RPGMaker. This one specifically RPGMaker VX ACE, but any of the RPGMaker engines would work well for if you don't want to make all the sprites yourself and you don't want to make all the like battling system yourself, and you just want to tell a story with easy to make or acquire graphics in a pretty pleasing looking way. There's nothing wrong with the program. It's $70 on Steam as we speak. Anyone who's ever seen any of the RPGMaker games before will know that even though all that stuff is built in, you don't have to use it. Some good examples would be some of the horror games that came out quite a few years ago now, but ones like Mad Father and The Witch's House and stuff like that were all built within the engine, and they still had like the HP and MP system in the background that you'd end up seeing, but none of it was actually used because it was all about telling the story and the interesting gameplay that came out about it. So there's not too much I can say about it besides that it is a really great engine for people to dabble with, because you don't need any coding knowledge to make this work for you. All of it is pretty simple, kind of yes, no, did this happen, sort of kind of situational events that you don't need coding for it. You can code. There's actually, you can go into the script editor and just edit everything that you to your heart's content, and you're allowed to do that. And there is just like with the text adventure engine, there's an audience for this. There's most definitely an audience for if the games that are made through this. You can go onto Steam and you can find just a listing of people's games, and you could add yours to that if you wanted to do that. You could also eventually just have your game on Steam, which would be pretty awesome. So yeah, another contender in the list. It's a lot more expensive. There's definitely not a free engine. There at least there used to be a demo. I can't see it myself anymore. I think once you purchased a product through Steam, they hide the demo things from you, so you don't get the demo again. I could be wrong, but yeah. So if you're unsure and want to try it, you can test out the demo, which I believe just makes it where you can't export the game. I don't even think you can save the game. You just get this. You can make stuff, and then you're just kind of stuck not being able to do anything with it, which does kind of suck, but it does kind of also make you want to purchase it if you really like what's going on. Anyway, on to the last engine. Sorry about the wait there. Anyway, this is the last engine I'm going to show you today. This is GameMaker Studio 2, so you can kind of see up in the corner here. Or maybe you can't. I forget if I have OBS getting the top part of the page. But yeah, it's if you wanted to make everything from the ground up like Construct, and have drag and drop coding. Let's see if I can get into the... It's been forever since I've done any of this, so forgive me if I mess things up. Nope. There's a nice drag and drop coding. Oh boy. Oh boy, this is what happens when you don't go back in and learn things again. There. Create. Nope. Create script. There we go. Don't know why I couldn't remember that, but forgive me. But yeah, you have a nice little kind of drag and drop options that let you connect what you're wanting. So if you want to assign things variables or to check variables, you literally you declare a new function, assign it a variable, and you see they're connected. Unfortunately, this is going to be one of those things that I would have to really dabble about with and figure out exactly how to get it all working again to better educate you guys. But there's all sorts of the drag and drop elements you want. If something is pressed, do this. If button is clicked, do that. Really simple, straightforward. There's stuff for animations and making like health bars and stuff like that. So it's kind of just all laid out very much like Construct. Though unlike Construct 3, this is just a one-time purchase. I believe it's $99 on the Steam store, so whatever that is with tax for you. The other thing is that I believe, and I could be mistaken, but I believe that if you and a buddy were working on a game together, you could do some coding in this kind of style. Maybe you don't know, coding language very well, but there is just a straight up script thing that when you send this off to, he could say this right here, execute a piece of code. He could pull this in, write all the code just like you normally would with the coding language, and it would work right alongside with your drag and drop stuff. So whereas with Construct, everybody would have to learn how to use just the drag and drop scripts and whatnot to make things happen. With this, one part of your team could work in the kind of drag and drop style, and the other could use the straight up just normal scripting language. Once again, really not going to go into too much depth, but this is another one that you can make a game with very little coding knowledge, and you would be perfectly fine in making a simple game. But you would eventually have to start learning snippets of code and stuff like that. And maybe this would kind of be your introduction into learning code if you don't already have a buddy that is really well versed in that sort of stuff. It is a little pricey, but considering you could just pay $99 here to get the same kind of product that Construct 3 is, but you only have to pay it once here instead of paying it every year that you want to use Construct 3. I think I know which one I'd rather go with. Just my 2 cents on the matter. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the little kind of list and tidbits about each engine, and maybe this is kind of shown you a few more options that might interest you, and or maybe opened up some engine ideas that you haven't thought of before, or didn't even know existed, like the text adventure one and visual novel, if you're into those sort of things. And I did sort of stick with just all 2D-ish games today. Unfortunately, if you're looking for 3D, I have never dabbled in that sort of game engine, so I unfortunately can't direct you towards any of them. If you guys have some suggestions for 3D engines that are maybe free or really good or don't require too much coding, please let me know. I have some buddies that are curious about getting into that sort of stuff. It'd be great to hear about it. Yeah, but thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all again maybe next week or the week after for another video. Goodbye.